Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, they thought they were helping.
Ahoy!
Ahoy!
How is the 21st century?
Oh, it's great. Candles have been extinguished, right?
Oh, no.
We didn't have to. Yeah, it's great. It's back. The power is back, baby. Let's go.
Oh, no.
I'd like to thank representatives of my local power company for working so diligently through the rain and the horrendous weather for the past 2 days. To bring me my light. There you go. So there you go. Back. Unfortunately, because the power was off for a very long amount of time, there has been many sacrifices had to be made in the refrigerator. Very much sadness and woe. But because the power was off for over 12 hours, just about, some of the stuff in the fridge it has not made it. Freezer's good. But there are some casualties of things that ought not be exposed to vacillating temperatures thusly. So unfortunately, this is a problem.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's always going to be a casualty, at least, I believe. But
don't worry, the ice cream was safe. So
were you forced to eat any of it early?
No, because we did not open the freezer at all.
Nice.
Right? You keep that sucker closed for as long as possible, because the second you open the door, cold air just falls right out. Boom.
Yes.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
All gone. Disappeared. Right. So we did not do that. We did not open them. So yes, that was an adventure and a half, right? Man.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was a very weird, I experienced this really remotely. Obviously, we were 3 hours north of where you guys live and 2 hours north of where it also hit in Springfield. So it was like catching up on the news. And then at first people were like, oh man, it's kind of getting iffy out. And of course, all of the storm people say that where they're like, it's going to be terrible. Right. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like how, right. And then it's like, oh, no, this is really bad. Oh, no.
Well, ours were all straight line wind, right?
Yeah. Well, still,
I know, but it was not what this time of year in Missouri. You're probably thinking, listeners, oh, another tornado. Oh, wow. No. Straight line winds, which actually are worse than tornadic events, because tornadoes happen in a very isolated area, right? Now they do cause more damage, right?
Well, sure.
Because they're stronger and whatever. But the wind covers a much larger area. So when you have a huge area getting hit with 70 mile an hour straight line winds, right? The thing said 60 plus, but some reports I heard were much, much higher. So there we go. Things just gone, right? Mm-hmm. Bang. Right. So we'll back up. We'll go through the course of events here, right? Recount this feat. Okay. So there I was in the middle of science class, right?
Yeah.
So we're somewhere around, let's see, my kids go to special class at 9 o'clock, right? 9:05. So it was probably 8:45, 8:50, right? Storminess happens. Right. Okay. Storminess. This is not good. You can see, we've been talking about it. There's going to be some storms. I was looking at the radar a little bit, and it's that's a bow echo. Well, not great, but whatever. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, we kind of peeked out the window a little bit to sheets of rain and just devastatingly windy outside. Right. And I guess the two trees on the playground, one of them is not there anymore, right? It fell over, and the other one, one of the limbs broke off, right? And it the the fifth grade teacher at the end of the hallway. It's basically right outside her window. And so this limb shears off and crashes down through the chain link fence underneath it. Right. And so they're like freaking out a little bit. Yeah, fair. If that's what you saw just happening out your window, that's fair. You're allowed to freak out a little bit. That's okay. So they actually like kind of left the room and got away from the windows, again, fair. Right. That's good. Right. And so we're sitting there and blah, 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 blah. The lights were like flickering a little bit. And then like just before 9 o'clock, bang, nothing, gone. Right. Everything gone, dead.
Oh.
And so we're like, okay, cool. Like, well, let's we'll just back up. We'll stay away from the windows here. My windows face south and the wind was coming like very strongly from the like directly west. So like I wasn't really worried about anything flying into the window, right? But still, just back up, we'll just hang out, whatever. They kind of freaked out for like 5 seconds and then it's like, all right, they kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
And then we just sort of, this thing was over like pretty quick, gone past whatever. And then we just sort of were like, what do we do now? So we're just kind of sitting around, right? So we didn't know anything. So we probably sat in the room for almost an hour. So we were playing games and they were doing stuff and they're just kind of hanging out. And we were good. My class was doing fine. And then the superintendent and one of the office ladies came around. We're like, hey, have the kids get all the stuff and we're going to go over to the FEMA building.
Ooh.
Okay. Right. This is to start dismissal process. Because they had got some reports that power was not coming back for a very long time. So we need to start getting kids home. Because you can hang around at school for a couple hours, but then there is a time limit. Most schools have a time limit where it's we need to go. We can't be at school because we have no power. We can't do things.
Right.
So we're like, okay, fine. Our FEMA building does have backup generating stuff. So there's airflow and lights. So we're like, okay, well, that's good. Let's go over there. So we go over there. Some people were very mad that we weren't over there already. And I was like, all right, look, there was zero tornado threat action in where we were. None.
Yeah.
Not even a watch. Okay. It was a severe thunderstorm. The FEMA building doesn't open for severe thunderstorms.
Right.
Even though this one is very severe, it would not be a good idea to go and do that at that time. Right. Plus the timing of events and how things are going, there was no possible way to do that.
Right.
So I am firmly on the side of we should have definitely just stayed in the building. I heard a few people rumbling and I was like, no, you're just wrong. You're objectively wrong about this. I'm sorry. But we can't do that.
Oh no.
Right. Anyway, so we got over there. We sat the entire school got into the building. And we all sat, I sat everybody in classes and I did tell them, I was like, all right, look, this is going to be very important this is a time where it is extremely important for you to listen and follow direction. Right. So before we went over there, I was like, look, guys, this is about to be wacky and crazy and wild. Right. So I need you to listen. Right. We got to do this. And to their credit, my group, the 6th grade, were incredible. Right. Way better than literally everyone else in the whole room. Right. We're the best. Obviously. Boom. There we go. Nailed it. So we sat over there for a little while. And they started, the plan was basically they were going to start calling parents, right? And the kids could call parents and whatever. And then we just had an access door. And when parents came, there were people outside who were getting the names of who was here. They were running those inside and we were calling for the people to go down and leave. Yeah, that's how it was. And eventually they got to a point where they were like, okay, also... they started with calling, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, okay, high schoolers that drove plus siblings, right? If you can get in touch with the parent and then to like basically call the parent, give the phone to one of the admins, say, yes, my child, blah, 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 can leave with my other child, blah, blah. They're like, okay, fine, good. Boom, there you go. And then they took them out of there. They could go home. Right. It was like probably 45 minutes after the storm was passed. So it was like clear. They kind of they waited for a while to see, like, check on roads and stuff. Right. They were getting road reports before they started releasing people just out and about, which was good. And then they just called people forever the parents showed up. And then eventually all of the remaining children, they put on buses and got them somewhere.
Wow.
So, yeah. Wow. Yeah. The problem is there was about 6 people trying to be in charge of calling names.
Oh, that never works.
Kids. No. And I was getting so mad. Right? The volleyball coach brought out his little like karaoke machine thing, right? And he's trying to call names, but I don't know what sort of like Temu discount he got this thing on, but he was trying to call names. He'd be like, like, what? Right? What is that? And then at our school has like 60% Hispanic population. He'd be like, Jose.
Oh,
bro. What?
Not.
What are you doing?
Not helpful.
Like, what?
Oh,
like, what are you doing? My guy.
Read the room. Right?
That's not helpful, right? I don't think this guy's really like all with it all the time, but like, my gosh. So like, it was a little confusing because like there's people at the door, and then before he could say the things, like other people were saying a name, and sometimes they were saying it before he said it. It was just like, and then sometimes they were saying different names at the same time. Like, what? Stop it. Other than that, I might have got a little bit snippy when one of my kids was in the bathroom and his parents showed up, and then somebody, like, they asked for him. I signaled to them and I said, he is in the bathroom. He'll be right back. And then 3 other people started yelling at me about where my kid was. And I was like, look, what? Stop it. I may have told them to calm down. Like, and that might have happened on accident. It's fine.
But I mean,
I was grumpy because I was like, you're not helping. You're not helping. This is not helping. I know you think you're helping. You're not helping. Right? You're not.
This is a great example of people who are versus people who are not ready for an emergency. And a lot of people,
they're panicking, right?
Yes. When that panic sets in for people, like, and it's natural, it's normal, but it's like, also, I need you then to like, I think what is frustrating is that people don't recognize the panic in themselves, or they think that like they're panicking, so everybody else is panicking. Like, that also doesn't help. Like,
yes, like it was just too much, and they thought they were helping.
Yeah,
right. They thought that they were being helpful, but they were not being helpful in this situation, because you can't have that many people trying to be in charge and doing the same task. Even like there's no need for that many people to do the same task. Like, that's not necessary. Like, 4 people don't need to do the same job. Like, I understand there's no precedence for this. There's no like manual. Okay. But this is one of those adapt, overcome situations where you've got to figure out a plan and go for it. Right. Was I enthused that volleyball guy had the world's jankiest speaker? No, that was not helpful at all. Right. Was it great? But no, but I sat there and just took charge of my children. That was it. That's all I could do. That was the best thing for me to do in this situation. Yep. That's what I did. Right. Yep. Boom.
And it's like, you have to find that one of like, but it's like at the core, what am I responsible for at this moment? And it's protect my kids and make sure that they're safe.
And again, and not disparaging, but they were not, by doing this other job, they were not with their class. So when their class was being like rowdy and loud, then they would just like shout across the room at their kids to be quiet. Like, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
Because shouting to be quiet makes things quiet.
Wow. Yeah. What if we raise my
Yeah.
voice right now?
Yeah.
Could we do
Like
that?
it was different when like the principal did it to like get everyone's attention. That's different.
Sure.
That was like I listen up, boom. That's different than like
Yeah.
like you know what I mean?
That's the principal. That's kind of the principal's job is to raise their voice and yell. Like, okay.
Yeah. And they were all outside like directing traffic and doing all that stuff. So you know, whatever. It's fine. Whatever. It probably could have been handled differently. It's over now. I don't really care. But that was the sort of fiasco that happened. Right. So then anyway, that we got all the kids out. I mean, except for like kids whose parents work there. But I was like, all right, you're on your own.
Right.
Yes. Your mom's right there. Bye.
You're not part of the group. Bye.
Go over there. Okay, see you. Like, all right. Other than those kids that I had, right. We left probably 11:30, 11:45 ish.
Wow.
Right? That's when we left. Maybe.
So all told, how long? I mean, that process didn't end up taking super long.
No, just probably. I mean, because we got over there a little bit before 10.
Yeah. I mean,
we had basically everybody gone.
Yeah. And
pretty quick.
To go from and especially for like a weather event and like contact people and like.
Well, I mean, because literally everyone is out of power now. Then now parents, they're like already keyed into, oh, okay, we may have to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of parents, right? They were at work, but their work also lost power. So they're like, go home, you know? So like a lot of the kids who maybe wouldn't have normally been able to get picked up in the middle of the day, because their parents are now also off work because this is such a widespread event, their parents were able to just come and get them.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're not working either. You know, a lot of them like, wait, your job is not all of them. We had some parents, they work in other towns and stuff, but like there's some that live there nearby, but again, it's so widespread that like,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, my mom can come get me because her work is close too. So
yep. Here we go.
So yeah, somewhere around there we came back. But then this is where we saw the extreme widespread devastation of what's going on. Because like there was still like the highway was blocked off because there was like a couple trees down over the highway.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't really know because we went by there 3 times, the same place on our little journey. And the first time we went by, it was blocked off. When we were going back by it, it was fine again. And then when we came back home, it was blocked off again. So I don't know.
In the same place? Like
in the same place. This is over a course of several hours apart. So I don't know if like they were like working on stuff, different things. I don't know what was happening. But like we came home, we had to go the back way around. So we drove by the park. The park is like devastated. There are so many trees just like exploded. They're just like twisted and shriveled and just like bleh.
That was when I was surveying, like looking at photos and seeing everything. There were some structural damages across like the whole thing. It was all trees. It was
the trees
all
are like
trees
ripped to shreds
and like just like ripped out of the ground.
Yeah, just straight up ripped out of the ground.
Yeah, like you're right. Like,
well, it looks like some of them look like they blew apart. Like they're literally like ripped in half.
Oh my gosh.
That's how strong this wind was. Right. So we drove through the park. We're like, oh, sadness. No. And then when on a slightly other detour route we had to take home, we drove across the railroad tracks, 50 bazillion trees down across the rail line. That's great.
Yeah, that.
And then there's also all the telephone poles. There's telephone poles that I saw just about halfway up, broken in half. Right, like the top is just sheared off completely.
Whoa.
So there's a pole And then like the wiry bit with the T's are like over there somewhere.
Oh
right.
my
So it's like
gosh.
there's some poles that are doing the leaning thing. Right.
Sure.
There's several that halfway up, or some of them were like 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up, sheared off. Just bang. Just broke the top off. So there's lines like dangling, you know, and stuff, which are putting the more tension on everything else and yanking everything over. So, but yeah, it was crazy. Like, oh my gosh. There's like, yeah, way up on these poles, they're just sheared. Just a big flat. It's just boom. Looks like you cut it with a saw. Just snap right off.
That is
not
wild.
Splintered, not nothing, just boom. Right off. It was crazy.
That's terrifying, is what that is. Like, my gosh.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Like, oh no. So we came home, opened some windows, kind of just hung around for a while, read some books, took a little naparino, right? Like, that's kind of all we could do, really. Ate our lunch because I still had it in the lunchbox. So, like, couldn't heat it up, but it was like a sandwich. So it was like, well, I can eat this cold. It'll be fine. And then after a while, we're like, what do we do now? Because we don't have any other food. We have like random food in the kitchen. So like we could have probably done something. I don't know if I have a camp stove around here somewhere. I don't know if it still works. Right. So we were trying to figure that out. So we decided we should probably just get the in-laws over here and drive south, because they have power south of where we are. So we drove down there and ate at that Chinese place that we went to when you were down here that one time.
Oh yeah,
we were there.
That's good.
Saw them. They are moving locations. Boom. They're moving locations. Side note, the China Express is moving locations after 20 years.
Oh.
Because of landlord problems.
Oh.
So they're opening a new restaurant. The daughter, right? Not the one that you met, but the other one. She was like, I was asking my parents, why? Do you really want to do this? They're both like 70. And they're like, yeah, we're going to open the restaurant again. And she's like, guys, we don't have to do this. It's okay. They're like, no, we want to. And she's like, no, but you don't, but why? Like, you don't need to, but come on.
Yeah. Oh my. What if we just secretly this is our sign?
What if, they're all for it. So Dad is like all about it. So they just wanted the building. The landlord is like being awful to them and has not been fixing things. And the building's like basically falling apart and she won't do anything to it. So they're like, well, we kind of have to move because it's just not gonna, it's gonna start impacting like their food inspection and stuff. Like if the building's like leaking and like the person won't fix it, then they're gonna get in trouble for
they won't be able to maintain standard and
exactly. So they're like, man, nope, we're out. Like,
I hate that.
Me too. But we went down there and ate. Probably we started rounding up the in-laws. My in-laws over here at about 6 or so. We went down there, but magically, upon our return, like when we were sitting at the restaurant, there was an update that some of a business owner that we know in Monette, they were like, our power is back. And we were like, hey, that's not very far away from our house. That's not very far away from here. Right? So maybe. And I started getting excited because about halfway home, you could see like that sky is looking pretty bright over there for almost 9 o'clock at night. Maybe.
Look at that.
Dang. So we had power back at about 9 o'clock, which was way faster than I thought. Because every report I saw said like the next day. I was like, dang it.
Yeah. Huh.
But we had it back. So good job, power people. Way to go.
Nice.
They're probably going to raise my rates for that, but whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't have school today because where I work is they were still out of power until I think around 5 or so this evening.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is just how widespread it was for this place. There were so many poles down.
Yeah.
There's so many poles just like blown apart, right? Or trees that fell on them, So, yeah, that was the saga from yesterday. Holy cow. It was nuts. This is by far, I think, Susan and I were talking, by far the longest that we have not had power since we lived here. We lived here for like forever. So like,
really?
Yeah, this was over, this was the longest amount of time. Even in like the winter, like if our power goes out, it's like 2 hours. It's on. Right. But this event was so big that like this like 12-hour period that we didn't have electricity was probably or close to there. Was like, that's by far the longest time since we lived in this place. Right. So the only other time was that 2007 like ice storm. We didn't have power for ever, but I lived in somewhere else, so it didn't matter. But like, I'm not counting because I didn't live in this apartment. So like,
right. Wow. Yeah,
like,
I was speaking with somebody the other day who still brought up the 2007 ice storm and was still basically like, they had moved here from Louisiana. They'd only lived in Missouri for 1 year. And then that storm hit.
They moved. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, that was fun, wasn't it? And they're like, no, I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. It was like, well, welcome to Missouri. Aha.
I mean, yeah, it's very nice at least it was nice to be out of power and it not be like -20. That was good.
See,
right? That's a bonus.
That is a bonus. We've never lost power during a ice storm, but we have lost power in like the heat of summer when our little town, the grid goes, I'm tired, I need to take a little nap, and then it shuts down. We've had that happen before. That was great. And so it was like 85 degrees upstairs.
Oh yeah, no,
sweltering.
We haven't had that one happen yet. I think we have so much manufacturing that it's kind of built in that it's like, okay, we need like, we already have some places in the area that have like very large power draws. So like, they kind of know that we
and our manufacturing is on the other side of the city from us.
Ours is like right in the middle, like blah. So
can't skip over.
Yeah, it's right there. So it's not super far from us. So like, I mean, our town's not that big, so nothing is really super far from us. Let's be fair, but like, like,
shh, it's fine. It's fine.
So we still can't walk there because sidewalks don't exist. But
oh my gosh,
that's other than that. It was fucking.
Still hurts me.
I know it would be so handy, but whatever.
I know. Just sidewalks. Are they too much to ask for?
I know.
Well, I'm glad you survived, and it wasn't worse or longer. So
yeah,
but I know that that's still really scary for everybody. But I'm glad that that's turned out well for everybody.
Yes. So school is on for tomorrow because I think the power's back. So
nice.
We'll see how that goes. I figure out what to do now. So I lost a day randomly. I had a very tight schedule anyway, and now I've lost a day. It's like,
how do you pick up from that? Right?
Like, rough. I feel like, well, we were prepping for that big social studies thing, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that was supposed to happen today or tomorrow, right? We were supposed to be prepping for it Tuesday and today, and we're supposed to start tomorrow. So I feel like what we may have to do is eschew science class altogether and just do like social study stuff in the morning to get ready for the afternoon. I think we may have to do that because so we can stay on track. Because my science schedule is pretty much whatever. I don't really care. But like that stuff, I kind of need to get that done because we're almost out of time before we have to turn in stuff. So like, I need that done. So we may have to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow we may have to be like, listen, no science. Oh no, only social studies all the time. So we have to see. I have to brainstorm about that because that's what we might have to do. So it'll be interesting, but oh well.
Yeah, well, I didn't have nearly of a.
Hopefully you've been less exciting this week.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. I don't even know what to. Oof, I mean, pretty much. Noah sold dog treats. I think did we talk about that last time? Who was preparing for it?
Yes, we was preparing for round 2 of dog treat selling.
Yeah, and he sold out. So that was very fun. It was very exciting. And I don't. He was it was less enthralling this time, I think, because
it was the second time.
It was the second time, right? So it was a little like, oh boy, you're gonna basically. I'm like, wow, you've already become like an embittered shopkeeper of basically like, are you gonna buy something? Move on, right? Like,
yeah.
it's like, bud, you gotta, But he did well with change, and he had it set up where they were individually bagged, and he so like they were in these little like a little tiny clear see-through bag, and then he had the idea of, well, if they bought more than one, they may want to put them in a bag together. So he took some Walmart bags.
And Susan's mother would approve of this strategy. Like, and get you a bag for your things.
Yes. Yes. So I told him, I said, if they buy 2, you must ask them if they want a bag for that. And he was very diligent, and a lot of people said yes. I was actually shocked because again, these things aren't that big. You can just hold them in your hand.
The pictures they're just like little dog treats. Like, you need a bag for that.
Yeah, but people would say,
this is why plastic pollution is a problem, right? We can't just carry stuff like.
Yeah. So he did that while like some performances and stuff were going on the stage, and Lillian sang in the little choir that they had, and loved it. She had been practicing the song. Yeah. So it was a good day as we wrapped up for that. And then I did not recommending this to anybody, literally ever. For that Friday. Last Friday, I went to a grand opening of an event of a new pet store here in the area, and it was open. The grand opening event was from 10 to 5. And they wanted me to be there
the whole time.
The whole time.
No!
Giving away pup cups.
No, that's too much. That's awful.
And so obviously I said yes, and I. Did not.
Did you say yes before you knew the time?
Well,
by any chance?
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
yeah. They had said, "Hey, we're doing a grand opening. Would you be there?" And I said, "Absolutely," because we do know these people. They're a client of ours, and I was like, "Anything to support you." And then they rolled out the announcement of the time frame, and I was like, "Holy what?"
When I said anything, what I actually meant was,
why is this
2 of those hours?
7 hours. And of course, I've got to set up. It doesn't take me that long, but I need to set up a little setup and breakdown time. 9:15 is when I got there and kind of set up. And so it's like, I'm going to be there for 8 because then I still have to tear down. So this is an 8-hour day of me standing, and oh my gosh.
That's a lot
it was too much. It was too much to be there. And so the next day we had so that was in one service area. In the other service area, a shop, it is an independent bookstore, asked us. They said, "Hey, we are going to be celebrating Independent Bookstore Day, and we'd love to have you guys there because we love pets, and sometimes our clients are people bring in dogs, so you can give away pup cups at Independent Bookstore Day.
Was it bookmarks?
No, it wasn't. No, it was up in in my town.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
I had these 2 days backwards then.
Yes. So I said, of course, that'd be great. I would love that. That sounds so cool. Then I get their announcement sheet of paper, and this is teaching Collin a lesson. Never agree to anything until you get the details.
Until you know the time.
Here I am. I'm trying to be all like nice guy, supportive community, because I have talked to the owner of this bookstore a lot about like, how can we work together and all this stuff? And she called in the favor that I would, a year ago, I was like, anytime. Yeah.
What I meant by anytime was not right now and not for 16 hours. Like
it was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh, no. Why?
It was even longer than the previous day.
Oh.
And I'm also thinking of like, okay, the previous day, I was there for 7 hours and it was really slow because it was in the middle of the day on Friday, which nobody's out shopping at.
Yeah.
Now, this is on a Saturday, but it's also for a bookstore.
Yeah.
So
kind of how many people should we be expecting here?
Yeah.
Really
over 8 hours.
Ooh.
So we showed up at 9, right? And we got set up and we were all outside. This wasn't an outside event because we were on their little walkway, and the local authors show up and set up their booths, and it was fine. And we had a smattering, a very polite smattering of people all day. All day. But it was fine, right? Because we were there to support and talk. And that was like, I get it. Like the people on Friday did this too, where they'd come through and they'd apologize for how slow it is. And then they'd come back and they'd say, have you been talking to a lot of people about your business? And I'm like, I am here for you to support you. I am here to make your event better and more inclusive and have something interesting for people to do. I that's why I'm here, right? If people ask me, most people don't even ask what we do, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm just here to give away pup cups, and that's fine. Like, I just want to be here so I'm here to support you. So like the constant like, are you guys talking to a lot of people? Oh, you giving away a lot of business cards. You're like, this is your grand opening. Like, stop.
Yeah, like how are you doing? Have
like,
are
you okay?
Coming back? What's going on?
The independent bookstore. It's like, are you selling books? Because like, that's what today's about. It's not about me giving away business cards. I'm giving away pup cups to highlight this event to attract more people so you can get more attention.
Yeah, you can sell books.
You can sell books. So
bookstore, like the thing that you want to do.
The thing, right?
The thing. You got to do the thing with the thing and the stuff.
And the reason I'm here is because I'm all about independent bookstores. I'm all about shopping local. I'm all about this. And you're a really nice person. So I'm helping. Like, shop.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. It was fine. And this one, of course, like the kids came out and they were with us and they went home like for lunch and then they came back and they wanted to be there. And so every dog that came by, and we had several of our clients come by, stop by and bring their dogs because they knew we were there. And like, because we went live on Facebook and we went live on Instagram and we were posting throughout the day.
You do, yeah.
All this doing the thing. And,
doing the thing.
It's just like, so it was fine. It was good. And then, about 4:00, I start looking and I see that the authors are kind of starting to rock back and forth a little bit. They're getting antsy. And by 4:30, they're all packing up and leaving, and then I'm like, because we have to win, right? We were the first one to set up. It means I have to be the last one to leave.
Of course, obviously.
To show my dedication and how much better I am, right? Which is because what this is, it's a competition. So as soon as
I don't think that's how.
As soon as the last author put her books in her car at 4:35, I was like, "We're gone!" Bolt the cord. I was like, "Let's go!" I'm
gone.
And exactly, and great, Dave. Thank you for letting us come here. It's been fantastic. We need to leave.
Running out.
And of course, then Sunday rolls around, and my back is like, "You have been standing for 15 hours. Why did you do that to yourself? You are now in pain." And I was like, "Yeah, that was dumb. That's really dumb." But I'm all better now.
Okay, good. This is great news.
All on the mend. But yes, that was my strenuous activity of standing for an obscene amount of time over the course of 2 days.
Strenuous.
Yes. But yep, and now this week we are posed to. I have printed off.
That's a standing.
No standing. I'm doing lots of sitting. Went the other way.
Good.
And yes, yep. It's a busy week. We're doing an ALP. We've got ALP pellet dissections this week. We're doing that.
Okay.
Did I tell you about this?
Yes. Well, you told you have one.
Yes.
We mentioned that last time. You now own a deer skull.
Own a deer skull. So this week we're doing ALP pellet dissections on Friday. I've got a deer skull anatomy lesson put together. We're going to be learning about that. We're ready to go over here. And oh my goodness. Yeah. So it's going to be a week so far. It's going to be, I don't know, but I had something else that just swapped through my brain that I want to talk about, but maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens from that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Like right now, or
I was like, I'm going to talk about the ALP pellets, and then I'm going to go on to this next thing. But then I looked at the sheet and I realized there's a misspelling on the, and then I was like, wait, what? And I'm back.
Okay. All right.
Present.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Grumble. Yes. So it's a good week, but yeah, I feel like we went on a hike or something. I don't know. Anyway, it'll come to me, but
okay. All right. Well, I want to ask while you're thinking, we need to know, do we have any grandstand updates?
Oh, you know what? That's a good, we'll do a, I have to type in Missouri State Fair Grandstand
just to see what sort of
who have filled it
they
in.
Have chosen instead of our brilliant acts, right? Who did they get instead?
You know what? They still August 11th and August 16th are still TBD.
So tantalizing.
Sorry, TBA. TBA.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Hopefully they have people by now. This is
August. They might not.
That's what they're. Maybe we should just go ahead and. I do know the person who runs the finance department for this state fair association. Maybe
slip them a list. Like, hey guys.
Like, hey, it looks like you're
here's some ideas. If you're struggling to fill some slots, here's some thoughts on who you could get. Just no particular order, but here's 10 different people that you could plug in there. If you wanted to.
Yeah, maybe you should just. I don't know. I'm not saying to do it or not do it, but I am saying, come on. Look, it's just here. The work has been done. Basically.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like to do when I'm on this page is I like to see who's the top bill, like who's the most expensive thing. So I'm just going to
not just Flow Rider, right?
Okay. So, and it's a little tricky because they have like the base ticket price and then they say the ticket including fees.
Yes, because nothing can be easy. That's
no. I'm not going to include the sprint cars or the MSF shootout. Fair. Not doing that one. But what would you say? So I don't know. There's Winona Judd, Blues Travelers, Oliver Anthony, John Anderson, Josiah Queen, Hudson, Westbrook, great guys, and Flowrida. Who do you think is bringing in the most money?
I'm going to say it's got to be Winona or Flowrida.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Interestingly, those two are the same price, but they are not top billing. Blues Traveler with Gin Blossoms is the most expensive ticket at $70.
Blues Traveler, what are you doing? Your hippie fans don't have $70 in 2025. Nobody has $70 in 2025. What are you doing?
No. Yep. Winona and Flowrida are $60 for their most expensive ticket. They have two tiers. They have a $45, they have a $50 and a $60 ticket. Blues Traveler is sitting at $60 and $70. John Anderson is $45.
That feels right.
That's a good anyway.
I mean, it's looking for the fair. I mean, I can't. These are all these prices. All these ticket prices are too high, obviously. But it's not.
Interestingly,
ticket prices for band shows should be like no more than $20. This is the extreme punk side of my brain coming out and be like, bro, what are you doing? No, this is not.
Yes.
Yes. I used to see bands all the time regularly for $12. Like, get out. Like, go away. I think I got Warp Tour tickets one time for like $40. So like that's like a billion bands.
That's tour
one
tickets,
of them was Rancid. Okay. So get out of here, John Anderson. Again.
I know. Yes. Now, interestingly, and I don't know what this says, but down at the bottom of the mostatefair.com/location/state fair -grandstand, you can look at a grandstand venue map with 2 price levels or a grandstand venue map with 3 price levels. So basically, I guess what that's saying is you can divide the grandstands into either including 3 ticket levels or 2 ticket levels. The only person who is doing 3 ticket levels is Oliver Anthony. You can come in to see him. He's the one with the cheapest starting price of $30.
He better be, because the only song he sings about is like how rich people are destroying the world, right? That's why he got all famous on like Joe Rogan and all that stuff. They're like, oh, he's so great, blah blah. Like with his like bad puns and like you're almost there, but that's rhetoric and that no. So like. Like he better not be selling tickets for $50. I would be mad on principle.
Okay, so the base one is $30, then we go to $45, and then we go to $60. So he is charging the same price as the Flowrida and Winona Judd.
Okay,
for his,
but
lower starting price.
No, that's not. He is nowhere near Winona level.
I know.
Why you should not even be in the same room as Winona ticket prices.
I know.
Okay. Plus, like, I don't listen to Oliver Anthony. Obviously, I don't know about this. I like know who he is, kind of, because I saw some stuff on the internet about him. Like, I've never listened to any of his songs on purpose, but like his big famous song is like him playing guitar.
Yes.
So like. He doesn't even like a band. Like I'm imagining that the reason that Blues Traveler is like so much is because there's like 12 people in Blues Traveler.
Oh, right? So minimum, like, because they're also with the Spin Doctors, right?
Yeah,
so it's
so there's like on the poster.
People.
There's there's 12 people.
14 faces on.
There you go. But like, okay, maybe there are a little bit more because there's so many of them, right? And like Winona probably has a band. Florida has like stuff because the concerts are strange because there's not like a band there. Sometimes there's like DJ people. Sometimes they have bands. Like I don't know. Some of them do play with live music, so I'm not sure. I don't know what Flowrida does, but like I don't know. But if you're a dude, like singer songwriter, a man. Like what you can't. What are you doing, George?
Who's too? Yeah, yeah. I will also say that these prices quoted are those are the with fees. Additionally, it's very important to know that these ticket prices do not include fair admission.
Oh yeah, you have to get in the fair, and then
yes,
that's always dumb. Like,
yes, so you do have to pay $15 to get into the fair. That's a single day adult, right? Okay, prices vary by age and days, but then that's on top of the ticket price. So if you're seeing Winona and you are a same day ticket purchasing adult, that is a $75 to go see Winona.
Yeah, that's a little bit nuts.
Or $85 to see Blues Travelers.
I feel like the grandstand, like sometimes it's not even like, I don't know how it's laid out there, but like it's not even necessarily like attached directly to the fairground. So I feel like there should be an entrance for like the grandstand only, like in out this way. Like you don't have to get into the fair to go to the grandstand. That just kind of seems like a ripoff, right? I mean, I know that they're assuming that you're coming for more than that, but what if you're not? Because the only time I ever went, again, I listen, before I say this, I'm aware that this is just anecdotal evidence and I am not representative of the majority of fairgoers. I know this. Right? I just want to say, I yell about this kind of thing all the time. So I just wanted you to know I'm aware of what I'm about to say, listeners. Okay. Self-awareness on the internet. Look at that. Bet you didn't see that one coming. But the only time I ever went to the fair to see a musical act, I did not go to the rest of the fair. We just went to see Charlie Daniels. And then, like Charlie Daniels band, boom, gone. Like, I don't care about fair rides and carnival games are going to rip me off. I don't care about that. I want to do this. And then I want to go see Charlie Daniels. And then I want to go eat at Mexican Villa. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
What I did. So then
that's absolutely what you need to be doing.
Obviously.
That's what everybody does.
Want to go see Charlie Daniels and then go eat a burrito enchilada style. Clearly, this is what people want to do. You know? Like
yes. Of course. That's what everybody wants to do.
Yes. So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll be anxiously awaiting this updated by keeping us in suspense. I'm like, the problem is now my expectations are very high because our lists are genius. And then we're gonna they're just waiting. Right. And then I'm just gonna be like massively disappointed because they're gonna be like, oh, it's some band I've never heard of. Like, oh
yeah.
Cool.
I see what you didn't do there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like neat.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anyway, there's always next year,
bro. Oh, well.
And I'm trying to remember. This is my brain consuming itself. There we go. Okay, I was trying to figure out what band I have seen at the fairgrounds because I went to the fair exactly one time and it was to see a band and then we left immediately. I saw the Red Dirt band Cross Canadian Ragweed in performance.
There we go.
Yes,
that's pretty strong fair energy. That sounds accurate.
Huge.
That sounds like
energy.
Good fair band, right?
Absolutely. Yes. That was a bunch of it was extremely rowdy. Yes. So, yeah. Anyway, but Cross Canadian Ragweed is interesting because it's a kind of a Canadian band in some resemblance. Anyway, no, the guy's last name is Canada, but
is it?
Yeah, I forget the Cross. Yeah, some guy Cross and something Canada. I don't. Yeah,
I didn't know this. I literally only know the name. I can't name you one Cross Canadian song.
Yeah, it was made up of. Was it not Dane? I forget formed in Oklahoma 1994. Bands were Grady Cross and then Cody Canada and then Randy Ragsdale and Matt Wiederman. So Cross.
Wow.
Cross, Canadia, Rag for Randy, and Weed for Wiedemann. It's
just literally their names.
all of their names.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, it's from Oklahoma, but just they have the Canadian thing there.
Well, they have the Canadian River is in Oklahoma too.
Yes,
right?
see, there you go.
That's awesome. I like doing that when we talk about the rivers, like because they're like, here's the Missouri River in Missouri, and blah 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 blah. Like, this big river that runs through Ohio, it's the Ohio River, and then the kids are like guessing the name, and I'm like, and this river that runs through Oklahoma. And they're like, Oklahoma River is like Canadian River. Like,
Canadian, obviously. What? Yes.
Why?
Yes.
I was like, I don't know. It doesn't even go to
Canada?
Right?
Yes.
Like, usually the river in question runs at least in part through the state in which it is named after.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Now, it doesn't necessarily begin there. It's like where they start.
Yes.
Usually. Like the Missouri River, they found it. And then, like European explorers, obviously.
Yes.
Discovered, quote, air quotes, discovered it and then followed it to like Montana or whatever. But
well, that's kind of like the Colorado River in Texas. No, not that Colorado River.
Yeah,
the
other Colorado River.
The Texas Colorado River, which just like slices the state in half. And it's like, what is it? It's 900 miles and it's all within Texas. It doesn't leave the state.
Yeah.
And so
Europeans are fainting right now. Like, what do you mean?
I know. When I would give presentations and talk about that river,
English people have no idea what to do with that particular bit of information.
I know.
Travels for 900 miles and it's still in Texas. What do you do with that?
Yes.
I don't think Wales cannot compute. They're like, what is going on?
And it travels through a skinny part of Texas too. It's not even the long ways through. But anyway,
it's the shortest distance.
It's the shortest distance. Anyway, I was trying. Speaking of names of things, we had a challenge set before ourselves.
We did
to give our I was going to say our list. I'm going to just say it's the definitive list of the top 5 Missouri trees in celebration of Arbor Day that happened last week.
Yes.
But we're still doing it in the month of April, so I think this still counts.
Yeah. And our Earth Day and Arbor Day were both last week. So it's fine. It counts. Yeah. Right.
It's Earth Day and Arbor Day in our hearts all year round.
Yes.
Is what this is saying. So this isn't tied to any one particular thing. It's here it is. So yes, this was harder than I thought.
It was difficult. I got to thinking about it and I ended up with my short list was like 10. And I was like, oh, wait, hold on. That's not going to work out.
Yeah. And I tried to be like as I went through lists or I looked at, tree identification guides, which is basically what I did.
Speaking of which, I have used Trees of Missouri. Descriptions, detailed illustrations, and uses in landscaping by Don Kurz. The definitive guide for trees of Missouri.
Nice. See, this is
Don Kurz, Paul Nelson, giant book here. I'm holding it in my hand right now.
Yes.
Complete with post-it note marked pages and everything. This book is excellent, by the way.
I love the description for this book. If you look this book up, it says at long last, Missourians have a tree book to call their very own.
Yes, that tracks. At last, get out of here. Listeners, just in case you were curious about, if you're not familiar with Missouri enough from listening to this podcast and getting just little hints of the Midwest, this is a 400-page book.
With what I think I just had to Google it. It's over 200 species of trees.
Yeah, it's huge.
This is
right demarcated by region. Every page has a little map in the corner that has dots in the counties in which you can find this tree commonly. Habitat, range, when they say detailed, they're not lying, right?
Yeah.
Extremely detailed descriptions of the tree, plus drawings of leaves, like branches, stem, nuts, fruits, flowers, if applicable, right? It's excellent. So
Yeah. Yeah.
plus, some other stuff here. Side note, there are, and potential spoilers for later, I don't know, but there are so many oak trees in Missouri that there is a whole oak tree section with leaf groups of the white oak and red oak species and acorns. They have their own page.
I love it.
The own page of white oak group and red oak group acorns.
This is perfect.
With all of them laid out.
Yep.
Right.
This is great.
Page number to be found out later. So if you're just walking through the woods carrying a 400-page tree identification book and you happen to find an acorn and you would like to know which species of oak it belongs to, you can just whip this page out.
Yes.
And you have dozens of acorns literally to check them against, right?
Yep.
The oak reproductive cycle. Here's the oak stamen page, right? Here it is. Here you go, Collin. This is for you.
Yes. The infernal things. Did I tell you I have a special... Did I tell you about the way I unclog my gutters? I told you about this, right? I have a special to get rid of the stamens. And I was doing it the other day too, because I was just standing on my... I'm sure my poor neighbors. I'm out there like fully clothed, obviously, but like getting soaked as I'm getting my arm. Anyway, this is an amazing book. It's that kind of stuff that there's literally not enough of. Like that kind of thing I love it. It's just, it scratches. It's everything that's wonderful about a deep dive and learning.
It's like the cinemacats.com of books is really what it is.
It is. Good time.
I haven't worked that in a long time. Yeah, Linda, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah. I
still love your work, by the way, just so you know.
So much fun. I still peruse that site every now and then. Like this kind of, and it's foundational knowledge of like, this book is filled with stuff that you just can't, it's just not readily available. And it takes that over 30 years was, of information, of knowledge, of research to put something like this together. And it's really invaluable. And I love whenever these things, and it's always so weird because it's like, you're right. Like the hyper specific information is we need more of that, and not like, anyway, I was going to say something about like, people who go do deep dives on like, I don't know, like characters in a movie. Like, look, that's fine, but like this, like natural world, like real things, like
about trees. They even have like medicinal uses, like native uses, where like Native Americans would use them for things like when it's applicable, right?
Yeah.
Medicinal wildlife uses, right? Remarks everywhere. Boom. There you go.
So I compiled my list, and I do have some runners up here. But mostly I based mine off of just my personal experience
vibes.
With trees, and vibes. But there are some trees obviously that I'm like, that's a really cool tree, but I've never like seen it grow in a wood or and so that was harder for me to put on my list. So every tree that is here, even in my runners up, are things I have put my hands to and that I enjoy or have memories around. And so anyway, that's kind
of what I was thinking too. It's very, again, this is a very heavily biased list towards species that occur in Southwest Missouri, obviously.
Sure.
Right. Yes. Because this is the most time I've spent in the wood in this area, so like that is kind of biasing my opinion, I guess, because these are trees that you encounter a lot of, and like, so that does, but yeah, these are like when you go walking in the woods, you're like, oh, it's that, right? Yes. That's kind of what I put on my list.
Yes,
so it's kind of a similar idea, right? Like,
Northern Missouri and the Boot Hill can come after us. It's fine. We have better trees than you do anyway. It's okay. Right?
It's fair. There are some cool trees in the Boot Heel. I don't know if there's any trees in northern Missouri. I think it's just corn. But like, I don't...
And very importantly, not a tree.
Not a tree. It's a grass, I think, technically, but it's fine. We'll talk about that later.
So, yeah, so we will start with our number 5.
Yeah, this is kind of... Again, this order is somewhat arbitrary. This is not... I'm going to say this is not my definitive order for the list, because I think this is one of those, like, depending on the day, they could slide around a little bit.
Sure.
Right? That's how difficult this list was. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, I'll kick us off, or do you want to give?
Oh, I don't care. I'll go. I just wanted before I started saying I'm not. Yeah. This is not like a hard and fast. This is the number 5. Okay, that's not.
Okay, right. These are 5. We'll just say these are 5.
Yes.
General list here. So,
yeah, pretty good. Right. So number 5, I needed a maple tree. Okay. I like maple trees.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're very pretty. They're very lovely in the fall. Plus, right, I was thinking too about like maple wood. Once the tree is cut and milled and used, maple wood, quite gorgeous. Right. Yes. I like maple wood. I do like a maple tree. I think they're very lovely. Right. I like them. So I picked the silver maple for my number 5. Right. Because they're like huge. Right.
Yes.
Right. They're really big.
Yes.
Right. Does make them slightly susceptible to giant windstorms, which is problematic. But right. I like the silver maple. Right. Big giant maple tree, little whirligig seed pods flipping around everywhere, all over the place. Right. Yeah. And in the fall, maple tree. You know, you got to have some nice color variation. So I think I put silver maple as my number 5. I knew I needed a maple tree, so I had to think really hard about which one I wanted. Right, but I was trying to go between a few. Right, but I did settle on the silver maple. Right.
That's a good one, and I always enjoy. There's a few places that we like to go hiking just to see the maples in the area, so that's a really good one. I really do. I'm kicking mine off with one that you actually don't see a lot of very many large adults, very big ones anymore, because I really like elms, and because they do get big. I love the shape of the leaves, and I picked the American elm because it's one that they are a delight to see. The large ones again are very rare because of the Dutch elm disease that came right and it kills off the larger ones, but the smaller ones are hardy. So every time you see a large one, it's just like, oh wow! Like I don't know. I'm always surprised every time I see one, and I really
they're huge too.
They're huge. Yeah, they do. They go really, really. They can get really big. So I like American elms. I'm going to throw that on there. It's a little bit of a weird one, I think.
All right.
But they're always so nice. So
that's perfectly fine. That's okay. I like an elm. Number 4. Right. Number 4, also quite a large tree. Right. But I think this is another one where I was like, but the wood of this tree is really pretty. And this grows very heavily in this part of the state. And I think maybe that's why I lean towards it a little bit. I'm going black walnut. Right.
Okay.
Big old black walnut trees.
Yes.
We also have a ton of these in the park here, right? There's walnut trees everywhere, and they're just like huge. And you got to watch out when they start dropping those things because you're like running on the little running trail and like walnuts fall, right?
Yeah,
squirrels dashing and grabbing them and run them up the hill. It's kind of hilarious. So like. That's why I put that. But yeah, I like the black walnut. Plus walnut wood. Also very beautiful. right? It smells a bit
does.
weird when you cut it, right? It's got a very distinct smell. Walnut. It's very purpley kind of when it's like raw, right? When you mill it, it's like a very dark purpley color almost, right? It's very cool. So
yeah,
I should mention that one of my early jobs in my life was working in a sawmill. So I do.
You have
a weird,
so much.
Do you have a bit of a weird, like, strain, like some extra experience with some of these trees? Because I've seen them all cut and stacked up, right? I've carried a lot of walnut. Well, it's very heavy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're really bringing in the topic expert here, and
I don't know about expert, but
I don't know. Yeah,
there you go. That's
awesome.
my 4 is the black walnut tree.
Yes. This is you mentioned about the abundance of oaks. Missouri forests are described as oak hickory forests.
Yes,
because we have like 9 species of hickories alone in the Ozarks. I chose a hickory that I love because it immediately stands out, and when you see it, it's just like boom, that's it. This is going to sound really weird. It adds texture to the forest. And it's a wonderful habitat for bats. I'm talking about the shagbark hickory. This is, if you've never seen one of these, the really big ones, they start sloughing off their bark naturally. Like, it's not a dying tree, right? And the forest dwelling bats will live in underneath the pieces of bark that are sloughing off, and so provides great habitat. And again, they're just really unique to see when you're out walking in the woods. It's like it's actually one of the first trees I taught the kids to identify. So now I'm like, and that is right, and they're like, boom, shagbark. Like, yes.
Well, very distinctive nut as well, right? You can very clearly identify, oh, that's a hickory nut.
Yes.
Right? Boom.
Yes.
There it is. Yep. Also, page 88 of the trees in Missouri. Just in case you're curious, Collin.
Love this. I do not have. I did not. I can't put my hand to this book right now, but it is at my house as well. So I will be.
There you go.
Yes. Hickories. Yeah, they're good. I love them. So
that's a good one. I didn't find room on my list for hickory, but they are. I do like a nice hickory, nice hard wood, right? Yes. Nice grain structure on there.
Yes.
Number 3. Okay, this one, I struggled with this one a lot. I had 2 trees that I was oscillating back and forth between.
Yeah.
Right. And it was either on the list or honorable mention. Right. That's where we were. I had my whole list set up. And I made my list, and my honorable, this one wasn't on the list, right? I made the list, and boom, and then it was nagging at me. And I was like, I have to put this on the list. I have to kick the other one off.
Oh no!
This is iconic tree for me, for Ozark forests, right? Glades everywhere. This is the Red Cedar.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Have to.
Yes.
Needed a conifer.
Yeah.
Right. Needed a conifer for those high, Ozark mountaintops, right? We do have like bajillions of red cedar everywhere. So I just needed to have it, right? I needed to have it, right? It's nothing like some cedar wood, right? On the fire when you go camping, right? It's all over the place, right? And it's just like very distinctive for me personally with like my time spent in Missouri woods. Like it's just like the red cedar is just like it, right? Like it's like, just jumps out because there's not just tons of conifers in Missouri, right? But this one is like very common and all over the place. So I put red cedar on my number 3.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
It was tough choice, but I went with it. I stuck with my heart and I went with red cedar.
Okay, no, that's a good one. I do like a red cedar. They're very iconic. Lots of camping and stuff, smells. My number 3, this is probably going to be too on the nose for the list because it's probably what most people are thinking. But this is such a stinking pretty tree in the springtime, which is probably why this is on my mind right now. And I am always reminded of just the suite of beautiful trees that we have that flower and that are native. And this one is always great. And I will say that if you are looking to plant a pear tree for the flowers, don't, right?
True.
Go to the Department of Conservation and go and to their sales. You can also get these for free, but get a flowering dogwood instead.
Absolutely.
These trees are so stinking beautiful in the springtime. Their flowers are amazing. They don't smell like dead and rotting fish, and they don't fall over in windstorms, notwithstanding 7 hour straight winds, right? They're very hardy.
They're also not super tall, which helps, right?
Yes,
but they are.
Well, yeah, because pear trees are like, what if I just go straight up and have no support? What if I just did that?
Exactly.
What, huh? Dogwoods are actually trees. They know how to be a tree and exist. Yeah. And again, I love when you're walking through the woods in the springtime and it's like, boom, like it's like beacons shining out through the forests, the little whites that are coming up. And then they're very low canopy, very great trees. So flowering dogwood, yes, it is the state tree. I understand that, but I didn't pick it because of that. It just happens to be so. It's a good tree.
I mean, it's such a good tree that it's my number 2 on the list.
Oh, hey!
Basically, for all the reasons you said, right? It's very like when we go to the park in the springtime, right? You're just walking. We have lots of trees around here, and blah blah blah. And then, but like the dogwood is so distinctive, and we have they have them planted in there, right? And you just like totally see it. It stands out so much. Like it really is pretty. Like the flowers are great, right? Bonus fun fact: did you know that Native Americans use the dried bark of the root to treat malaria?
I did not know this.
And the early European settlers fought chills and fevers with it. At one time, it was also used as a quinine substitute.
Well,
Thank you, Don Kurtz, page 122 of Trees, Missouri. There you go. But that's what.
Okay. Did not know that. It's just a pretty tree.
I didn't either, but you need the book, people. That's why I gotta get.
Gotta read. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Well, my number 2 is I think one of the largest species of trees here in Missouri. Also grows really fast. Found along wet areas, and so this one, when I think of trees, I think of again, this really gets to my experience with them. This is one of the trees that you will always see on float trips and along riverbanks, and always just never fails to impress. I currently live next to one of these trees, and it's a pain in the butt to live next to because of it's never not dropping things.
I know what this is.
Okay, it's never not falling apart and never not dropping things upon you and cleaning them out. But it's so beautiful, and I just always so impressive. I love sycamores. It's an American sycamore.
Yeah,
gotta have this on here because you're like, oh look, a tree, and then you'll see a sycamore, and it's like the size of a school bus in diameter.
Oh, huge, right?
Holy moly,
so big.
What? So I like that. That's my number 2. My number 2.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. I really like those. Didn't make my list either, though.
Okay.
Oh. But yeah, they are really cool. They are really pretty. And they're like when the bark is so like white, right? Sometimes. And it's just like, you're just like walking around blue, and then all of a sudden there's just like this monster, like boom.
Yes.
Like really standout tree. They're really pretty, right?
Yep.
My number, we're number 1 now, right?
We're number 1 already. Yes.
Number 1 already. That's how good this list is. Just flies by, right? I was a little worried you're going to steal my number 1.
Oh.
Because my number 1 is also, it's definitely up there. It's about the same height as a sycamore.
Okay.
Right? These trees also get enormous, right? And quintessential Missouri tree. Right. I had to pick one.
Yeah.
Right. As you said, Missouri are oak hickory forests. So I had to go oak tree.
Oak tree.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to go oak tree. Difficult to decide what oak tree. Okay. But I picked the iconic towering monster that is the white oak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
White
for
oak.
my number one.
Love it. Nice.
Also for nostalgia vibes for the restaurant, but
and isn't that the tree in Dad's backyard too? Isn't that
I
a
believe
giant
so.
white oak tree?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Monster white oak tree.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They're just so like, I do like under canopy trees. Okay. You know what I mean? Like they're really pretty. I like a nice, you need trees of all different heights, right? This is what makes a healthy forest ecosystem, right? You need lots of different heights and trees, but there's something about just a massive tree that's just spectacular, right? It's just incredible. You're like, this tree is so old. It's so huge, right? So I am slightly drawn to giant trees, I'm sure lots of people are, right? But the white oak is just, I think they're just pretty, right? I think they're just gorgeous, majestic things.
Yes.
So that's really cool. I think they're really cool. And did you know that their bark can be used as an astringent? There you go. Boom. There you go.
Oh man, it's turning into one of those podcasts. Steer away.
There you go. It's fine. No worries. I'm not going to go all Gwyneth Paltrow on you here. I'm not going to replace my medicine cabinet with oak bark or anything. But just so you know.
I mean, cabinet check. So you went giant. Okay, you went giant for your number one.
Yeah.
I went small. I'm going to say I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think this is one of the most underrated trees because again, I'm probably biased here because of the springtime. This is just on my mind. I think it's one of the most underrated trees. It needs more attention. I'm always delighted when I see one of these. You don't see them as often as flowering dogwoods, another under canopy tree. I'm talking about the Eastern Redbud.
Oh, a good one.
A absolutely knockdown, gorgeous tree. When it's in bloom, it's very subtle. They're not as boom, bang, pop as the white of a dogwood or whatever.
True.
But man, in the springtime, you see these. And if you're looking for a decorative tree, another great thing to plant. And they've got gorgeous, their leaves are an awesome shape too. And again, they don't grow huge, they don't grow very big, but they're a nice little shade tree even for your little yard. But in the forest, these are also just a delight to see. So I always enjoy finding a redbud.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Right.
Oh man. So how many are on your runners up list?
I have a lot. I also have a bonus list because I am also married to an arboreal enthusiast. Right, so I have a bonus Susan list for you.
Susan list.
If you're interested.
I love, yes.
I have a bonus Susan list. I'll go through this a little bit quickly, and then we'll hit the runner up here because maybe some of it. Do you have any runners up? They might be.
I have three.
Okay. So we've got this Susan list 5 red maple.
Okay.
Right. She has a red maple. Number 4 flowering dogwood. It's just it's a state tree for a reason, right? Everybody loves a flowering dogwood. Number 3, Susan went off the cuff sassafras. Hitting you with the sassafras tree.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 2, American sycamore.
Okay.
And number 1, the black walnut. Right. Her reasoning for the black walnut, by the way, is that she spent a lot of her childhood with her father picking up walnuts.
Yes.
To take to the walnut shelling stations to sell them. And she used to get the money, right? She would use them to buy Christmas ornaments. Right. Obviously. This is obviously what she does.
Because there's only one thing to spend money on.
Yes.
And it's
especially when your name is Susan. Obviously, this is what you do, right? So she has like a very, very strong nostalgia related to black walnut trees. So this is like her favorite tree of all time.
Yes. Rightfully so. That's a good one. Yes.
It's a good tree.
Good tree. Okay. So you had silver maple, black walnut, red cedar, flowering dogwood, and white oak. I had American elm, shagbark hickory, flowering dogwood, American sycamore, Eastern redbud. Time for runner-ups. What we got? Do you want to go first? Oh. Did this crash?
Sassafras tree in Missouri. It's actually in our park. There's a sign and everything.
Oh.
So that's That's on the list that's on the runner-up list for vibe. The other one on my runner-up list was the shortleaf pine tree.
Oh,
Because this is the only native pine tree
yeah,
to Missouri.
Okay,
But that's the one that got kicked off for the red cedar. Because I was like, I need a conifer to represent, but I just love a red cedar tree.
Nice. Okay.
And the important one on this, I was trying to decide if this should make the list or not. Okay, this is another one I really thought hard about. This is the actual runner-up, right? This is,
okay, sure.
The persimmon tree, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Mostly because I never get tired of hearing people talk about reading the persimmon seeds for snow predictions in the wintertime.
Spoon or fork or knife, I forget what it is. But yes,
depending on allegedly, people say the Farmer's Almanac says that
that's
whatever
a good place
shape,
to start.
The seed, like if you cut the seed in half, right, the inner pith or whatever will look like a kitchen utensil. And depending on which kitchen utensil it looks like is a predictor for how severe the winter is going to be.
It's amazing.
This is the Missouri folk forecasting methodology of trying to figure out how much snow there's going to be. Spoon, isn't it? Remember, spoon means lots of snow, right? Because it's like a shovel, right? Is that right?
That's what I think, yes.
That's the only one I remember off the cuff what it actually means, because that's the one people talk about the most, right? They always ask, well, were the persimmon trees seeds spoons this year?
Yep.
Like, that's what they want. So that is on the runner-up list. I couldn't really justify putting it on the main list for that reason, because I don't really believe in persimmon seed meteorology, but it's such an important part of the culture aspect of where I live.
Yes.
That it has to be on the.
I fully agree that the
it's like mandatory almost.
Yes. No, it does. No. Interestingly, my runner-ups, the first one I put on there was the black cherry tree.
There's a dark horse.
Another real dark horse.
Think about that.
The only time, my first exposure to this is also it was also in Dad's backyard. He had it was one of the trees. It was next to the tree that was holding up the no, this was the one that was growing out by the propane tank. That's a black cherry little out there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It had a birdhouse in it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I love their bark. Their bark is so pretty.
Yes.
And the way it is. I also my runner-up was also Sassafras.
Nice.
So because it's so nondescript that identifying it in a wood is almost impossible, but the smell when you break off of the limbs, like, just really hits you. So I've got lots of memories of that.
That's one of the first leaves I learned to identify, because they do have a pretty distinctive leaf, though.
Yeah.
So, like, I seem to remember that that was one of the first trees I learned to identify by leaf, was the sassafras.
They're good. Yeah. And my final runner up here, also persimmon.
Persimmon tree.
Because persimmon jam is also very tasty.
That is true.
And yes, it is just one of those things. Undoubtedly, somebody at some point will say, what do the seeds say? Right? What is it going to be? And it's always wonderful. So
it happens all the time. I hear it all the time.
Yes. Yeah. But it was good. So no, this was fun. It was very hard because I just wanted to keep adding trees to the list.
I know.
And so I had to, my selective criteria was my level of interaction with them. And basically, can I pull nice memories that involve this tree? If yes, it goes on the list. If no, I can't put it on there. So anyway,
that's what knocked the shortleaf pine off my list, because I was like, I just don't have a lot of vibes. Like, you know how many cedar trees I've camped under or near?
Right.
Like a billion.
Yeah.
Right? So like, you get like
Almost
the
all of
natural canopy where you get the ground's already kind of soft under there.
Yes.
You get natural weather protection. They're not too big, right? So like, I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, when we go hiking and we find a nice grove of cedars, my kids will undoubtedly turn to me and go, "We could camp under there." And I'll be like, "Yes, you can. You can."
Been there, done that.
So, this was good. I really enjoyed putting this together.
It's a good one. Good thing we totally didn't forget about this list.
No,
definitely remembered the whole time. Everything is fine.
And pulled that off because, like wizards, we did it exactly when we mean to.
Exactly. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Well, to close us out, I do have a bit of an on-the-nose haiku for you this week.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah, this really just combines the two topics of this show together nicely in one haiku on accident. Here we go.
Okay.
Braced against the gale as neighbors splinter and fall, standing defiant.
Nice. You know what? I love it because we started with the storm. We did our trees. We end with this.
Boom, there you go.
This is fantastic.
I knew I wanted to write a haiku about trees, obviously, because of the show topic. But like as the week progressed, the subject matter changed slightly. It was going to be a lot more like chill and like majestic-y, but like after the whole events of the last couple of days, kind of changed had some rewrites were in order. I had to change the tone here.
Yeah, that's totally
peek behind the curtain there about what's going on.
Yeah, but that's what they're for. Capture those moments. So,
that's true. Capturing the moments.
Done.
It is funny because when I go back and read them, I can remember what the show was about sometimes. Other times I'm like, what was I talking about?
I mean,
because but other times I'm like, oh yeah, got it.
Well, look at there. Oh, that's cool. Love it. Very good. Great topic. We'll see what we can come up with next week.
All right.
We'll see. And hopefully the wind stays down.
I know. We were under another wind warning for a while today. I was like, no, not again.
I saw that.
But it was actually, I don't know why it was us, because it was much more further south. It was the nasty part of the storm. So,
better
maybe just in case.
Sometimes.
Like, just stay.
Yes, just in case. Please stop. Okay. Well, stay safe, and we will do this again. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.